at libraries all around the country this week. And this is the sixth and final exhibition that we've had in this space for 2015, and it will go into 2016 as well. As many of you will know, the Lexicon opened to the public on the 8th of December last year, so we're not even a year open. And we have many spaces within the Lexicon where we have exhibitions, but this is our prime library space. And I was delighted to open it last year with the picture exhibition, which was an initiative of the Laoghaire community Sharkey, and we had many wonderful illustrations by artists, Irish artists, including p.j. So I think it's very fitting that we finish the year with a celebration of his work. I've been a fan of his work for many, many years, and I've been involved in children's literature and with IBI Ireland, which stands for International Board of Books on Young People. And a number of years ago, we put forward p.j.'s name for the Hans Christian Andersen Award, and I remember putting together, I think it was about 15 or 20 folders of his work. And it gave me an opportunity to become intimately acquainted with his work and what stunning work it is. Over the past 30 decades, as he says himself, he's been illustrating just... I think he was born the same year as me, so maybe I'll stop. Anyway, over the years since I even did these folders, many students were searching, and p.j. have come looking for those folders, and they've interviewed him, Jenny included, who's at the bookshelf over there, so there are many fans in this room. And now to launch the exhibition is Eoin Colfer, our current laureate Nano. And I first met Eoin back in Dundrum Library. He's keeping a library theme here. He was our quiz master for the local schools quiz. This was before he became sort of a stellar name for the Artemis Fowl series. He had written Benny and Babe, but he was still working as a teacher before he gave it up for his full-time, very lucrative career. So we're really thankful for him to come back. He came back from London just earlier on today. But he was also here earlier in the week with UTV Ireland filming upstairs. So he's a regular presence here in the Lexicon. So please welcome Eoin, who's going to launch p.j.'s exhibition. Thank you.
Hello everyone. 30 decades. That's pretty amazing. p.j. is a vampire. Actually, I do have I love the paintings, but I have a bit of an issue with the name of this exhibition. Princesses, I like. Pilgrims are fantastic. But beardy old men, p.j., that is like casting aspersions on me and you. So, p.j.Lynch, ladies and gentlemen, born in 1962, not 30 decades ago, and he's the last of 5. Is that true? Yeah. Which explains his grumpy nature. I did some research into the youngest children to see if we could give us some insights into p.j.'s little, as Barbara calls them, his funny little quirks. So, on the side, p.j. married Barbara on your 40th birthday. Wikipedia's amazing. p.j. married Barbara in 2002 when he was 40, and when Barbara was under the influence of something, I would imagine, for that to happen. Anyway, youngest children, I shall read this directly, this is true. Youngest children are unique in that they are never displaced by a newborn. They are the babies of the family. They continue to be babied long into adulthood. Is that true? Youngest people tend to appear youthful throughout their lives. Obviously, there are exceptions to that particular. Thus, the youngest may be indulged, pampered, and spoiled in ways that other children are not. Parents tend to be blasé about the youngest. After all, they've already done some child-rearing tasks, and they may not be as enthusiastic about this child's accomplishments. Thus, the youngest has less expectations placed upon him, and they tend to achieve less. But luckily, this is not the case with p.j., who managed the extraordinary feat and never bettered achievement of winning the Kate Greenway Medal twice. And I know that many of us here tonight believe that he deserved it at least one of those times. PJ's first illustration job was Alan Garner's A Bag of Moonshine, for which he won the Mother Goose Award. And finally, PJ only accepted this award, this book, because being from close to the border, he thought he was getting an actual bag of moonshine, and was disgusted when there was a real job involved. More books and accolades followed, including Melisande, Fairy Tales of Ireland, Stories for Children, East of the Sun, and West of the Moon, which, if you think about it, is the same place. So that's kind of bad editing there. I have a word with my editor about. I would never get away with that one. The Candlewood Book of Fairy Tales. Next came The Miracle of Jonathan Toomey, which has sold over 1 million copies in the US alone. Also generated a movie and a Grammy-nominated audiobook by James Earl Jones. So that's pretty impressive. When Jessie Came Across the Sea, it was the second winner of the Greenaway Medal. Grandad's Prayer Dear. The Names Upon the Harp, Ignis, The Bee Man of Orne, The Snow Queen, which PJ is forever complaining was ripped off by Frozen. And I said, PJ, let it go. I'm so sorry. That's pathetic. Okay. A Christmas Carol, and Lincoln and His Boys, which it sounds like it's like an entourage from the old days, but it isn't. If you're expecting that, you'll be disappointed. And just this year, PJ turned writer when he wrote and illustrated the subtly titled The Boy Who Fell Off the Mayflower, which is actually about a boy who fell off the Mayflower. Subtitled, John Howland's Good Fortune. There is a sequel planned called The Boy Who Fell Off the Sunflower, or Brendan Howland's Good Fortune. But, okay, it's a Wexford joke, but the title of that is subject to change. I think I have teased PJ enough. The truth of the matter is that I have admired him for years and years. His sublime skill as a draftsman, his touches with colour, his use of light and shade, his unique perspective. And I always thought that if I worked hard enough and got to a certain level, that maybe PJ would work with me. And so last year at the Book Awards, I waited until he had a few drinks, and then I approached him and timidly asked if he would ever consider, getting together on a project. And PJ said, and I quote, "Dream on." Not even if you had 10 times the talent. So I took this as a challenge and assembled 12 people, or 17 people, so we had 17 times the talent. And PJ was emotionally blackmailed into illustrating Once Upon a Place, which he did with his beautiful charcoal drawings, and a stunning panoramic cover, which managed to capture the essence of 12 stories and 5 poems in a single illustration. I could stand here all night and catalogue PJ's achievements and awards. I could talk to you about how much of an inspiration he's been to artists, writers, and of course readers. I could tell you that he's actually a nice and humble guy, in spite of all the crazed diva rumours that you've probably heard. I could tell you about his love for ferrets, and how he likes to keep one on his person at all times. But this is not a night for words. This is a night for pictures, and they're all around us this evening. I think the most prevalent emotion on faces here tonight will be one of wonder, as people browse the hall and pore over PJ's intricacies. Look for the minor characters and the off-centre detail, and discover PJ's sense of humour, for he does have one. I certainly hope so. Or we might not be friends after tonight. Artists among us will wonder how he does do this, while the rest of us might ask, how does anyone do this? Those of us in the biz have known for a long time that PJ is our greatest beardy man. And now, here tonight, we are reminded that he is also our greatest ambassador, as he brings his unique Irish sensibilities to the rest of the world. This is an exhibition that I personally have waited years to see, and I regret that I didn't wear a baggier coat so I could sneak out a picture. Finally, PJ, my friends, congratulations. In these dark and troubled times, it is nice to take an evening off from worrying about our kids and the future, and to be reminded that there is magic in the world, and magicians too. And so, book lovers and art lovers, before we disperse and do what we actually came here to do, please give a round of applause and welcome to the podium, Mr. p.j. Lynch.
Thanks a million, Eoin. When I asked Eoin to open the exhibition, I got to thinking about it afterwards, and I've seen him talking sometimes, and I thought, following Eoin Colfer is not a good thing to do. So I'm not going to try to be as witty or as humorous or as cruel as he can sometimes be. I just want to say a few thank yous, because several people were involved in putting this show together. Above all, I want to thank Marion Keyes, who's the librarian here, who, where is Marion? Oh, there she is. What you doing over there? And Marion has been absolutely wonderful, invited me to put on the show and has bent over backwards to get everything just right, and I couldn't be more grateful to her. A round of applause. Secondly, I do want to thank Eoin for agreeing to do the honours tonight. You'll see for sale Once Upon a Place, the book that we worked on together this year. And it was a strange project for me, and a wonderful project. I was delighted when Little Island and Eoin approached me. That would be Grania and Siobhan Parkinson from Little Island. And it was a different project for me. It had to be done in a hurry, a lot of work involved, but because Eoin was involved, I really wanted to get involved too. And it brought out something different out of me, and I had to do the work quickly, so I started working in charcoal, and it was mostly it was a great pleasure. Grania can be pretty tough as an editor, but it was mostly a really great pleasure, and the best thing about it was getting to hang out with Eoin and getting to know him. Really good guy. And other people involved in, well, that book, I can't believe I'm the slowest illustrator there is, but I've managed to get 2 books out in 1 year. My other book is The Boy Who Fell Off the Mayflower, which it's a Candlewick Walker book, and the publishers, the people from the publishers, my editors, Chris Paul, the art director, Hilary Van Dusen, great editors that can't be here because they're in America, unfortunately. But there were some people who were really vital to that book, were the young people who modelled for me. And I think Dermot's here, and William, and there's a lovely girl, Kia, who was played the main female role. She can't be here, unfortunately, but the rest of them were absolutely terrific and a huge help to me. And my wife also modelled for, she's looking very glamorous tonight, but she modelled for one of the less glamorous roles in the book, and she's always been a huge support to me. Thanks, Barbara. So, more people to thank. Conor Hackett, unfortunately, can't be here. A lot of you know Conor. He's a big mainstay of the books business in Ireland. And for hanging the show itself, there was Fergus was a great help to me, and the boys from Phoenix Framing did a huge amount of work in a really short space of time. And oh yeah, I've got a little note here. This sounds awful, but there's a few hours left to vote in the Irish Book Awards. I need your votes because I'm up against Eoin Colfer and Oliver Jeffers. So if you can get on the internet with your phones, or if you can vote later tonight, I would really appreciate it. And I wouldn't mind if you voted for Eoin and Once Upon a Place as well. Okay, thank you very, very much for coming. Before I go, my family and cousins and friends have come from all over. I really, really appreciate all of you coming tonight. Thank you very, very much.
PJ and also Eoin, that was wonderful. And just let you know that on the 21st of January, PJ is going to give a talk in the Lexicon in the studio theatre downstairs. It's free and all are welcome, and I really look forward to that. And I was about to say about the Board Gosh Awards, I've actually photocopied the double spread page there, so 12 midnight tonight is when you can stop voting, so get in there with that. So thank you all for coming. It's been wonderful, and enjoy the show and enjoy the refreshments. And thanks to Jenny from Gutter Bookshop. I think PJ and Owen might find a few books for you. There's a table over there where they'll do that. Thank you.